Hi, so today we're going to be reading The Liberation of Gabriel King, Chapter 10. If you remember yesterday, we talked a little bit about Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford who were running against each other. So today we're in Chapter 10, A Darn Good Name. So if you kind of remember, his dad was saying, like, you could be president if you get through the 5th grade. So then he's like, well, maybe I should be brave. And he started to see what he could do to be brave. A darn good name. After that, I went out each night and sat on the front steps to watch the spider. He sure was ugly looking. I didn't think I could stand having one as a pet, but if I was going to get me any courage, there didn't seem to be a way around it. So 2 days later, I finally called Frieda on the phone and told her she could come over because I'd made up my mind I was keeping the spider. Frieda couldn't come over that night because she had a meeting for the Rockford Baptist Peace Warriors. But on Saturday, her daddy drove her over in the station wagon and she got out lugging an old fish tank that she had dug out of her basement. Look, Frieda said, showing me the tank as soon as she arrived. She lifted the lid, then popped it back on again. Your spider can live here. It's perfect. She picked up the glass jar I was keeping him in and pressed her finger to the side so it looked like she was tickling the spider's stomach. You're going to keep him for good, right? I stared at the spider's awful, ugly eyes. Look at it, I said. Or looks like it, I said. Frieda twirled around in a circle. It's working, she sang. My super duper plan is working. I wasn't so sure, but I didn't have time to press the point because that's when Pop got home. Pop was working weekends so as to get us some extra money to buy a car. His old truck spattered and coughed as he turned into the driveway. Hey there, Frieda, Pop said, climbing out. Hey, Gabe. He walked over and kissed the top of my head. He was filthy from head to foot, but I didn't mind. What are you two doing? He asked. Frieda showed him my spider and my new tank. She put a layer of grass in the bottom, then stuck a couple of sticks inside. Gabe's going to keep him as a pet, Frieda said. He's not scared of spiders anymore because he likes this one. Like is an awful strong word. Pop squinted at the spider. Is that so? He asked. Well, what kind of spider is he? Me and Frieda shrugged. We hadn't figured that part out yet. What are you feeding him? Pop asked. A spider needs food and water to live. And it's okay. It's a good thing that you've got him a nice new tank because that jar is too small to keep a spider that size in. Pop sat on the front steps beside me and Frieda and held the jar to get a better look. Leanne, bring out that guidebook, he yelled to Mama, who was inside getting hot dogs ready for dinner. Pop had a whole series of guidebooks, one for birds, one for reptiles, and one for insects and spiders. He once said he might have gone to school to study stuff like that if he'd been a smart man, but he wasn't book smart, just hand smart. I thought Pop was just about every way smart. Mama brought out the guidebook, plus she had a tray full of hot dogs, ketchup, mustard, chili, soda pops, and a big glass of water with ice cubes. She set the tray down where the spider jar had been. Then she sat on the top step behind Papa and put her chin on his shoulder to get a better look. He's a beauty, Mama said. How come even Mama thought he was a good-looking spider? Pop found a couple of pictures in the guidebook that weren't quite right. Then he turned to the page, and there was our spider staring back at us. Our goat or Ranita. The yellow garden spider, Pop read. Says here the yellow garden spider is found throughout the United States. The body of the female is 3/4 to 1 and 1/8 inches across, and the body of the male is 1/4 to 3/8 inches across. Papa surveyed my spider. I say you got a male here. He's not too big. Not too big? This was one gigantic spider. But I didn't argue. The yellow garden spider is diurnal. Diurnal? That means they're active in the daytime. And they are carnivorous. That means they eat meat. Ha, I knew it. People, I asked. Hot dogs, Frieda suggested, but Pop laughed. No, said Pop, they eat insects, bees, wasps, and grasshoppers. Now I was starting to lose my appetite. I didn't think I could take any more learning, and Pop must have guessed that because he closed the guidebook, drank his soda, then started making a little water dish out of his can. He used his pocket knife to cut off the bottom of it. Then he filled it with water from Mama's drinking glass and put it inside the new tank. He picked up the jar and slid the spider out. The tank already had air holes, but Pop made some of them a little bit bigger with his knife. There, he said, not a bad home for a spider. Mom looked from me to Frieda. Did you catch this spider for Gabe? She asked. I knew Mom was thinking about me streaking in my underwear. I held my breath, hoping she wouldn't tell Pop. Frieda nodded. I'm glad, Mama said. He'll be a good pet. Fun to watch. She tapped the glass tank. What's his name? Funny how everyone thought a spider should have a name. Unfortunately, I had given this some spot. His name's Jimmy, I said, and Pop smiled. That's a good name, he said. A darn good name. So we can figure that he named him after Jimmy Carter.